Good morning, Lauren Lefkowitz, Greber, Realty Executives, Valencia. Hope you're having a great day today. Monday, first Monday in May of 2016. Quick talk about dual agency, only because it's come across my screen or my head a few times in the last week or so. Dual agency basically means that the broker has an agent representing the seller and an agent representing the buyer, or it could be the same agent underneath that broker is representing the buyer and the seller at the same time. It could also mean that the agent is a broker and that agent is representing the buyer and representing the seller at the same time. Those constitute a dual agency. There are disclosures in California Association of Realtors that tell you you might have a dual agency. Sometimes we don't know it until we get into negotiations with a purchase agreement. My feelings on a dual agency, in 14 years I've done it maybe 2 or 3 times. I don't particularly care for it. Yes, I can make a lot more money if I represent the buyer and the seller, but I have a due diligence to the seller to get them the most amount of money. I have a due diligence to the buyer to get it for the lowest price. So trying to make that happen at the same time can be a challenge. Private knowledge that the seller may share with me, it then becomes a responsibility for me to share with the buyer. Don't tell me something you don't want the other one to know. In a normal transaction, I have to disclose things that are material facts to the property. But in a dual agency, you can end up being in that situation that you know what the seller's going to take. You know what the buyer's willing to pay. And how can you really possibly be doing your due diligence for both of those people at the same time? It also falls into play when somebody does an exclusive listing. If the seller wants to save a little bit on their commission fees, which is one of the reasons that you have a tendency to do a dual agency. The seller can save on the commission fees that they pay, do it as an exclusive listing, bring in the buyer and the seller. So it's done a lot. My feeling is that you're not really doing your best for both parties when you're doing a dual agency. If the seller requests it, I'm going to do it. If it happens to happen, I will do it. Will I focus on just trying to get the buyer representation as well as the seller representation? No. If it happens, it happens. I'll work through it. But my fair warning to you is it's not always the bottom dollar. You want to be specifically protected by your agent on the seller side and specifically protected by your agent on the buying side. That's my 2 cents on dual agency. Lauren Lefkowitz, Greber, Realty Executives, Valencia. Remember to keep your wits about you when buying or selling your home. Have a great day. Bye now.